If you are in this is going to be a little graphic, so beware. If you're in a sexual excursion, let's say it's you and a female, so a male and a female, and you and the female agrees to have sex, but midway through decides, I don't want to do it, and tries to stop the sexual excursion, the actual act of sexuality. And he, the male, won't stop, continues to have sex with her. Is that rape?
At that point, I think if
she says,
adamantly
stop,
saying
stop, I don't want to do this. He doesn't stop. He continues to do what he's doing. When it's all over, she calls police, cries rape. Is it rape?
I think it could be.
I think it is, yeah.
In North Carolina, it is not. In North Carolina, if a female, and this is being debated right now, if a female gives consent, she cannot withdraw it.
During the act.
Whoa.
Can't withdraw it during the act. Once you get going. So basically saying, once that man gets going, you just can't stop him. It's a steamroller effect. You can't stop him. So it is not considered rape.
Was there a case?
The case of this girl, she said she'd agreed to sex. They were having sex. It got so rough, the guy's pulling her hair out. They're in college. Pulling her hair out, and she's saying, stop, I don't want to do this anymore. He wouldn't stop and continued. She called police. They wouldn't arrest him. Said it wasn't rape. She gave consent. We'll talk more about it coming up.
I guess
we'll talk more about it. I want to go to Professor Allan Saxe, University of Texas at Arlington right now. Sorry about the transition, Professor, but listen, you're on a campus. I would imagine in Texas that would be considered rape. I believe in New York that would be considered rape, but in North Carolina it's not.
I know nothing about sexual excursions.
Okay. And that will serve as our transition, Professor. President Trump has said that it would be a dream.
I'm thinking back.
Thank you for that. I'm trying to let everything settle, and then I'm going to bring you right in.
Yeah.
President Trump says it would be a dream if Joe Biden ran for president against him. He said Obama and the Dems took him out of the garbage heap. What's your thought on this?
Well, Senator Joe Biden's going to have to defeat a lot of other Democratic nominees if he really wants to get the nomination. The Democratic Party, as everybody knows, has lurched very far to the left. Senator Kamala Harris of California, Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts are going to be obstacles if they jump into the race. I would not be a bit surprised if Hillary Clinton would wade back in. It's going to be Bernie Sanders. So if my scenario is correct, and I think it could be, at least one scene of it, we could have three strong women, Bernie Sanders in there that has really pushed the Democratic Party way to the left, and then Joe Biden, I think, would probably be the centrist candidate, although I think he might go to the left as well to try to get the nomination. He's had so many gaffes, so many things, that if the media really wants to be fair and bring those things up, oh boy, could that be a fun race.
Well, and I got to tell you, it's interesting because even Republicans are nice to Joe Biden. He's one of those guys that's just, he says weird stuff, but they all seem to somehow like him and give him a pass. But Professor, he's pretty old.
He is. He's my age, by the way.
Well, then he's not so old after all.
That's right. It's not so old.
But to run for president, I mean, and here we are in this very interesting, when you think about it, go back to the presidential election, which, of course, resulted in President Donald Trump. When you think about that, had Bernie Sanders ran, you would have had two candidates, one on the Republican side, one on the Democrat side, that the party didn't, in both cases, the party didn't want. The Republicans didn't want Donald Trump, and the Democrats didn't want Bernie Sanders.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, interesting.
And that is absolutely true. But the Democratic Party now is being driven so far to the left. I cannot imagine the Democratic Party without nominating somebody that is of the left as far as the platform is concerned.
Well, and we're seeing it. I got to tell you, we're seeing it right now in the governor's race here, Governor Andrew Cuomo, who one would say is certainly to the left, and he is. But Cynthia Nixon is driving him even further to the left.
That's right.
It's really, there is a civil war going on in the Democratic Party right now.
There is, but there's a civil war within the Republican Party as well.
Yeah.
And probably a huge cultural war in the nation. There's no question about that. And the media stokes it all. The media loves it. And the questions that were asked at Helsinki, I think, were way over the top, and they loved it, and they created a firestorm. And it's the media deserves to ask hard questions, but the questions they asked, some of them were way over the top.
Yeah.
Aside from the one about foreign intelligence, there was a question asked by one media representative to Vladimir Putin, and it was outrageous.
What was the question?
Like, do you have any, quote, bad stuff on President Trump? You know, I mean, I've never heard a question like that asked.
Well, you never had a dossier that was sitting out there, and a part of the. I'm okay with that question. That was asked by the guy from Reuters
AP.
or AP. I had originally heard AP, but then when he started doing interviews, they said he was from Reuters. But either way, that question and that press conference led to so much, though. I mean, it has. It's just been such craziness. But I don't know. I'm okay. You disagree? You think that question should have been asked?
Yeah, I do not think that question should have been asked. I think there is a certain amount. I'm not against the press asking very hard questions.
Yeah.
But I think there's sometimes when a certain amount of decorum and you know the answer before they ask you. Or rather, he knew the answer.
Yeah.
What is Vladimir Putin going to say?
Right.
Everything on President Trump.
I don't think he knew. I don't think any of us know the answer, to be honest.
That's right.
But you know the answer that Putin's going to give. He's not going to be like, well, yes, I do. He was wearing pink underwear, and you know, this is.
Right.
You're right. I mean, I think as the years go on, we get a little to the point where it's like, why ask that question? I know the answer that they're going to give. They're never going to give me.
Or not give.
But sometimes, though, you ask a question and you don't expect to get a good answer, and you get a good answer. So, all right, interesting take on that, Professor. We appreciate, as always, you coming on and giving us your take from Texas.
No more sexual excursions for anybody.
Okay, we will never.
I was just going to tell you to try it sometime,
No
Professor.
more transitions like that, Professor. I apologize.
Speak for yourself.
I loved it. Thank you very much.
Have a great day. All right.
Fun. I appreciate it.
That story is interesting, though, when you think about that rape? We'll get into it coming up.
Yeah, it's funny too. You use the word excursion, which is I've been on cruises before, and when there's like you want to go swim with the dolphins,
Scuba diving.
Yeah, it's
Does that
considered
come
an
with a
excursion.
It's no sexual excursions, and hearing it with his pitch just is priceless, in my opinion.